You can't just do it for a period of time and then go back to your bad habits. The reason why you're on a diet in the first place is because you're trying to do better for yourself. So why would you revert back to worse? Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I know that a lot of people want to lose weight, they want to go on diets, and they're kind of scared how to not regain the weight back. This is just a little bit on my story and what I do and how I kept my weight off this entire time. If you haven't checked out my other videos yet, you should go check them out. I basically lost 110 pounds by doing keto, intermittent fasting, and exercise in a fasted state. However, even though I lost a lot of weight and I've come off of the diet, I still have not gained any weight back. In fact, I actually lost weight. It doesn't really matter what diet you do. Whatever diet works for you, that is what you should follow. But when I was dieting and I was working out, I did keto. At the moment, I do not do keto anymore. I am a vegan. I think keto is an amazing way to lose weight. I think it's a great start. As I've stated before, I don't really think you should choose keto as a lifestyle. I don't think you should do it until the day that you die. I think it's very good for disciplining yourself. I think it's amazing for weight loss, but I love being vegan. I enjoy being vegan, and I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to eating regular or eating processed foods or eating meat or dairy. When I did keto, I did very, very strict keto, meaning I went under 25 carbs a day. I essentially ate no carbs at all. This allowed me to lose weight super, super fast. Anyone who has tried keto or cut out carbs knows this. Keto makes it very easy for you to burn fat faster because you don't have any carbs or sugar in your system, so your body has to use your fat for energy. When excess carbs and excess sugar is present in the system and it doesn't get burned off, body either uses it or it stores it, and it hardly ever gets to your fat. People are usually scared to go on keto in the first place because it is very restrictive, and they have concerns like, what is going to happen if I get off of this diet and I gain all my weight back, I eat regular? Yes, that could happen, and no, that could happen. I believe that it's really up to you. After you go keto, your mind kind of changes because you're forcing yourself to stay away from stuff that isn't good for you. On keto, you're not eating sugar and you're hardly eating a lot of carbs. Maybe the carb part might be controversial, but sugar is bad for you. It is a known fact. It has been known for many, many years. You can look it up. There's nothing wrong with not eating sugar at all. Sugar causes sickness, sugar causes inflammation, sugar causes cancer. It's okay to stay away from sugar. It's not a bad thing. I feel like we're so brainwashed in society because, especially when you look at all products, juice, food products, even vegetables, you notice sugar in almost every single thing that we eat. Sugar tastes good and it makes you get addicted to it. It's literally a drug. If you care about yourself, if you care about your health, if you care about your skin, if you care about your body in general, you will stay away from it regardless if you're on the keto diet or not. It's not a matter of gaining the weight back. It shouldn't take a diet for you to stay disciplined enough not to gain the weight back. The reason why people go on the keto diet in the first place is because, yes, it is very restrictive, but that's the point. It's super beneficial, it's super helpful, but it costs discipline to obtain the result that you want, especially with that diet. You can only eat a certain amount of things, and it's very limited, but that is the point. It's supposed to limit your food intake. It's helping you practice obedience. It's helping you practice discipline. It's allowing you to purposely stay away from bad food. At least that was my experience when I was on the keto diet. I stayed away from bad food. I stayed away from things that did not serve me because I knew that I had a purpose. I knew that I had a goal in mind. I knew that I wanted to change myself, and this is what it took to do that. When I started keto, my whole entire life changed. My appetite was less. I had a lot more energy. I felt really happy, and on top of that, I was losing a lot of weight too. That in itself, staying away from sugar, staying away from processed foods, staying away from bad foods, in addition to me getting smaller and me feeling more confident and losing the weight that I want to lose, was enough for me to stay away from sugar and bad food. Sugar and processed food make you gain weight. If you're overweight right now, it's probably the reason why you are overweight. So for me, when I was losing weight, I was doing better for myself, and I felt this physical betterness, I guess, that kept me from wanting to go back to processed foods. When you do better for yourself and you feel better, hardly ever will you revert to doing worse for yourself unless something happens and your mindset plummets or something like that. But for the most part, psychologically in humans, if we're doing something good for ourselves, if we're improving, if we get a reward for doing something, we're going to keep going back to it to get that reward. This journey has not technically been easy for me. I had struggles of my own. After I got off keto, after I initially lost my 100 pounds, I went back to eating regular, as I mentioned in a previous video, and I in fact gained about 10 pounds because of that. I missed it. I missed sugar. I missed eating bad, so I did go back to it, but I've experienced the benefit of discipline and of eating right and doing better for myself, and that allowed me to go back to eating right again. I started to gain weight. I gained about 10 pounds, and I was looking in the mirror. I saw myself getting bigger. At that time, I had been the smallest I had ever been. Right now, this is the smallest I've ever been. But in April, I was about like 195. I felt like this can't be happening again. I went through all of this process, all of this mental process. Like, I have to continue to take care of myself. When you change your eating habits, when you change the way that you live life, you have to keep it up. That's why people say a diet is not just a diet, it's a lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle change. You can't just do it for a period of time and then go back to your bad habits. The reason why you're on a diet in the first place is because you're trying to do better for yourself. So why would you revert back to worse? I struggled a lot with wanting sugar and eating sugar again. I did not stop officially craving sugar until like August, which was about 7-8 months from when I started keto. When I did indulge and I did cheat, or I reverted back to eating normal, I was not happy. Like, I felt sick. I started having digestion problems because I was eating sugar and all this stuff, and I had gone off of it for so long, my body literally couldn't process it because I had stayed away from it. I felt lazy, and I just didn't want to feel like that. When you change your diet and you do better for yourself, you will physically experience a change. I stopped working out too. From April to about August, September, October, I believe, I wasn't going to the gym at all. I wasn't working out at all. I didn't want to. I felt very lazy. I know that I talk about accomplishing things, and I know that I'm very enthusiastic and I'm trying to help you guys. I genuinely had a struggle too. I didn't just lose this weight and I was perfect. I had mental struggles dealing with food. That was kind of a reason why I didn't want to make YouTube videos at all, because I was struggling with it inside of myself still. It wasn't until these last months that I officially decided that self-care is going to be my future, and this is going to be something that I want to do for the rest of my life, which is be happy and take care of myself. I understand when you eat bad things, you get a pleasurable sensation and your body feels like you need it. But you have to understand that sugar is literally a drug and you can be addicted to it. There is not a single benefit to sugar. There's not a single one, except for our body uses it for energy. There's nothing positive about it, and that we get happy when we eat it. Yes, I've had weight fluctuations. I've gone from 195 to 170. I don't go back and forth now. My weight is pretty stagnant. If anything, I continuously lose weight and get more fit every day. But I believe I was fluctuating from about 195-ish to 180, 170 something. I was kind of stuck there because I wanted to go vegan, or I wanted to be super active, but I also felt like I could eat enough to the point where I wouldn't gain all my weight back. Even if I gained like 10 pounds, it was okay. That was my mindset. Weight loss is a journey. It's mental, it's spiritual, and it's physical. And I understand that it's very difficult because you're changing your life. You're changing the way that you're living. You're changing the way that you're eating, and I understand that. So the whole purpose of my channel is to help people along their journey, because I understand how hard it can be. It's not straight shooting. It isn't. I have gone up and down on the scale many times until now. Now I officially realize what I want to do, how I want to live my life, and I realize that eating bad, not working out, not taking care of myself is not worth it. I've never experienced this amount of happiness, joy, and peace in my life, and I want this to continue, and it's the way that I'm living. Till this day, I don't eat a lot of bad things for me. I only eat whole food. I only eat all natural food, and I'm plant-based. Like, when you lose a lot of weight, that's what you should do. But that's my own personal opinion. When you lose a lot of weight, you're trying to take care of yourself. You're getting rid of excess that you don't need anymore. You're trying to be healthy, so why would you revert back to the stuff that made you unhealthy in the first place? It's kind of illogical. The thought that you're not going to be able to keep this weight off is a fear that's made by your unconscious brain, and it's illogical. It makes absolutely no sense, because you're gonna feel good about doing better for yourself. You're gonna feel happier, you're gonna feel successful, you're gonna be rewarded by your weight loss, you're gonna feel better. So why would you revert back to old habits? Naturally, your brain will release endorphins when you work out and when you eat right. Even naturally, you'll feel better. If you really look at it, being hesitant about dieting or being hesitant about trying new lifestyles shouldn't scare you, because they're improving your life. You can't go wrong with eating vegetables or having a diet based off of vegetables. You can't go wrong with cutting out sugar. That's not gonna harm you if you do that. The assumption that you are going to miss something or doing something good for yourself is going to hurt you is contradictory, and it does not make sense. And I also choose to do right for myself. I choose to not eat sugar. That is a big way to keep weight off of you if you stay away from sugar completely. Sugar either gets burned or it gets stored, and for a majority of people, it's really hard to burn off massive grams of sugar in a short period of time before it can build up again and add fat. I also am plant-based, but I don't eat bread because bread has excess carbs in it. I don't eat sugary things. I don't eat unprocessed things. If I eat rice, it's going to be brown rice. If I eat beans, it's going to be black beans instead of refried beans. Just simple substitutions like that allow me not to gain weight back. I also fast every single day. Intermittent fasting really helps with weight loss and keeping weight off, because you're only eating through a certain period of time. During the rest of the time when you're fasting, your body is using your fat for energy. So that means during the periods of time, which is 23 hours a day, that I'm not eating, my body is using my fat for energy. So even if I do eat a little bit more or a little bit more excess carbs, it gets burned off because I fast 23 hours a day. I eat one meal a day, and if I do decide to snack later in the day, I'll eat something like nuts or popcorn or sunflower seeds, something that isn't going to add to my calories, that isn't going to add to my carb count. I understand nuts are kind of higher in carbs, but that's a different story. Something that is going to make me full. The foods that have a lot of high fat in them, that have a lot of saturated high fat, they will naturally make you feel satiated. Because I eat super healthy and super clean, I don't get sick. I don't feel sick. I never feel sick in the sense where it's like I ate too much sugar and I need to lay down or something like that. You know, when you were a kid and you ate too much sugar. I don't get like that. I feel amazing every single day. My workouts are amazing and my life is super physically active. Being vegan, being super physical, like literally, like my entire lifestyle is physical. Eating right and taking care of yourself and fasting will allow you to not gain weight back. And that's why this is a lifestyle change, and you're supposed to be practicing healthy habitual things. I know that it's scary to make a change because you don't know what's going to happen, but you have to understand when you decide to do better for yourself, only better is going to happen. You shouldn't be scared that you're going to fail or this is going to harm you. It's not going to harm you if you stop eating sugar. That's an illogical thought that you are making up in your head to keep you from accomplishing something because you're afraid of change. There's nothing to worry about. If you make the change to do better, better will happen. You don't have to be worried about changing if you're doing better for yourself. Thank you guys for watching my video. See you in the next one.